Considering a qualitative research, this is for you. I made mention of how I struggled initially when I started my qualitative research and how that was a challenge for me. But over time, I overcame the hurdles and everything, and I was able to carry out a very detailed qualitative research. The thing is this, I'm very good with quantitative research. That's what I've gotten so used to, both the analysis using SPSS and all that. But I've never really paid attention to qualitative research. And I just noticed that a lot of people are struggling with the same thing as well when I talked about it casually. And that's why I'm doing this video, so that if you're doing a qualitative research or you're considering carrying out a qualitative research, this can help you. The first thing you can do is the outline of your proposal, and this proposal is coming before data collection. So the first thing is what? In that outline, you go with the order of introduction, literature review, reflexivity, and positionality. I'm going to explain each of them: methodology, ethical consideration, limitation, conclusion, references, and appendices. For this introduction, you're going to be introducing what you are working on. If you're going to be working on diabetes, whatever aspect you want to work on, if it's population medicine, whatever you want to work on, you're going to do what? Introduce it. And the introduction is not just you're introducing it, you're going to be backing it up with available literature. That's one. Then secondly, you're going to do literature review. This literature review is based on existing data. What are they saying about this your topic or this area you are actually working on? That will help you to know the argument you're going to raise, and that will help you even in your research question, coining research question based on future research that existing literatures are already pointing at. Because you don't want to do what everybody have done, like 100 people did a topic and you still want to go and work on it. What you will look out for is, what are these people saying are the gaps in literature? Those are the things you can leverage and work on that aspect. So then you, that brings you to what? Reflexivity and positionality. So what's your position in this? Like, where do you stand in this area of research? What's your value system? What does it contribute to this research? Is it going to form any form of bias? How do you intend to get rid of the bias that will be coming from your area, as in like your positionality? Then you're going to be reflecting from where you're coming from. Probably you came from Africa and you're doing a research in Canada, or you're doing a research in US, or you're doing a research in China. Wherever you're doing research, you're going to be reflecting, what do I used to know? What do I know previously? What am I knowing now? And how is that going to affect my position in this research? So you bring all these things together, reflect in it, so that you are, why you are doing this, why are you doing it? You are doing it because you want to do what? Avoid bias as much as you can, or to eliminate bias as much as you can from your research, so that it will not be informing some of the things you'll be asking, and it will not be informing the decision or the suggestion or recommendation you're going to be making at the end of your research. Then you're going to briefly state your methodology, what you intend to do, how you intend to collect your data, the population you're using, the places, like as much as you can, the way you think you will do it, put it down. The truth is, methodology, at the end of the day, you may say, okay, I'm going to take 100 people, and 100 people may not accept to be part of your research. It means the number of persons you get when you are now reporting post data collection, you're going to be reporting the number of persons you use. Let me give you an example. When I wrote my proposal before I did my research, I said I was going to use 30 to 60 people, but at the end of the day, I used 29. That does not invalidate my research. These were the people that gave consent to the research, and I ended up doing 29 instead of 30 to 60. So I was just one short of what I wanted to do, but that's very okay. That's a valid data, and that's what I used. So this is me telling you that it may not be as you proposed it. That's why it's called a proposal. At the end of your research, it may not be the same thing that you proposed to use that you used. Then ethical consideration. So your ethical consideration is what the permission you get from the ethics board in the country where you are or in the university where you are. And this ethical consideration, if you have to make any major change in your research, you need to let them know. So ethical consideration is like, okay, we know this person is carrying out this research and we give approval, we are aware. And the thing is this, with ethical consideration, you're going to get consent from your participants. You're also going to make sure you let them know that either you're going to be recording, videoing, whatever you are doing, your participants have to know and they have to sign consent. So you're not just doing anything because you want to do it. There has to be what? Ethics approval. And even if you're publishing that research, the truth is they will ask you about the ethics approval of this research. So you can see it's actually a very important thing that you need to do. Then you talk about the limitations of the research. The truth is, when you will say, okay, is there any limitation? State the limitation. It is very important that makes it more real, because when you are saying the limitation of your research, it gives this vibe of, oh, okay, there is something that really limited this research, but this potential limitation, how do you intend to avert it? In your proposal, you're going to write it. So your limitation, this is the limitation, and see how I intend to avert it. Let's say you are going to be taking samples from older adults and you know some of them may have hearing problem. So how do you intend to avert this? You can actually say, okay, you're going to do some projection of the questions you're going to read, or you're going to use a microphone. This is you trying to avert the limitation you are proposing that may happen. So you have to state your limitation and you have to state how you intend to take care of that limitation. Then that brings to conclusion, then concluding what you think, because at this point you're just concluding based on an available literature, based on your positionality, reflexibility, based on everything. You will just conclude. This conclusion is just for your proposal, because trust me, there's going to be a bigger conclusion when you are done with data collection, and that's very important. Then you put out your references and make sure that your references are in tandem with either APA version 7 or whatever that's probably that journal says they should use, whether NLM, whatever. So make sure that this your references are in tandem with what is required. I use APA version 7. Some use the NLM. So depending on, some use the Vancouver references. So depending on whichever one you're using, make sure that all of them are in synchrony. Then you put appendices. Appendices are probably your consent forms, some of the things that you did in the course of the research that you have documents for that you needed to attach to your thesis, but they are not fitting in anywhere. So just put all of them in the appendices, and that's what is going to actually that will give value or validate your research more, that okay, these are the things that happened and I needed to attach them, and you attach them to the appendices. While writing your proposal, there are things I really want you to note, and these are very important because sometimes they are the things that can keep you one place for a very long time because you really do not know how to do it. The title of your work can be changed at any point in time. Reason being that there are some things you may need to tweak a little, tweak it, and at the end of the day, your title may change, not change automatically or change drastically. It may change from what you wrote out previously to a new thing to capture the intent of your research. So when you're looking at what you are working on and you're looking at your literature review, seeing different things, and you think, okay, I think I need to change my research topic or research title, it is very okay to do that, provided you are doing it with the approval of your direct supervisor and they know what you are doing and your reasons for changing that topic, because there has to be reason for you to change your research title. You can't just be working on, probably you're working on addiction prevention, and all of a sudden you wake up and say, okay, I think I'm no longer going to work on addiction prevention, I'm going to work totally on diabetes now. Those things don't work. It has to still be in line with what you were working on before, but the topic can change. You can change from addiction prevention to prevention of addiction or averting addiction. It can just change to something close to what you're working on, but know that at any point or at any stage in your research work, that the research title can actually change. Then for masters, abstract is 1 page, which is about 150 words, and 2 pages, 200 to 300 words for PhD students. So it depends on what you're working on. Your abstract could just range within this number of words. The thing is this: some people just want to pour everything in their abstract, but the goal of an abstract is to let people know what you are working on or what your study actually did, or a little bit of defining your number of participants and all. That's just the abstract. Is when I read it, I should be able to know, okay, I think reading deeper in this work now can give me what I want concerning what I'm looking for when I'm doing my own research. So your abstract should be brief, straight to the point, and actually highlight what will attract people when they read your research. Then structure your thesis in chapters. People don't know that you should do your thesis in chapters. They just write it verbatim like that. The best way to do it is what? Restructure it and write it what? In chapters. That's the easiest format. There are other formats, but because I find this one easier, that's why I'm actually dwelling on it. Do it and structure it in chapters. Then read aloud and give another person to read for you. Why am I saying read aloud? Read aloud so that when you hear what you are reading, that will help you make corrections. Let me give you an example. Sometimes I'm recording this, and there are some things I've typed that I didn't even know that there are mistakes in it. But when I start recording and I'm reading through it, I will just notice, oh, there is a mistake here. And then I'll have to go back and rewrite it, edit it, and continue. So that's what reading aloud can help you do. Reading aloud can help you detect mistakes that on a normal day when you read silently, you will not detect it. That's one of the things reading aloud can help you do. And I believe that this is one of the things that people do not do. That when you are reading through their work, you are actually asking yourself, did this person proofread this work? Then if you know you can't read aloud, give another person to read your work. I know one of my colleagues suffered in my hand because I will always say, okay, come and read this for me. I can finish a chapter and I'll say, come and read this. What do you think about it? Do you think there's anything I can do? Do you think there are mistakes in it? And by the time they read, they may see what you did not see. And if they didn't see anything, they will still give you their feedback and say, okay, I think you've done a good job and this is a very good one. So that's the concept of, if you can't read aloud, give a friend to help you read through, and that will help you.